Hello? Hello and welcome to Let's Play Project Zero Maiden of Black Water, a new Let's Play. Don't know how that intro is going to sound because I started saying hello, but then Audacity lagged. So, don't know how it's going to play. What a thoroughly eventful intro. Does this game have an intro? I'm just going to wait until maybe a cutscene plays, so I don't know. It's just, get this out of the way. I put up a poll for what horror game to Let's Play. I'm not doing October specials anymore, but I will add a horror Let's Play here in October, going forward, basically. So this will join the regular schedule. We've got Rune Factory Oceans, next day, this game, day after that, Digimon World Next Door, day after that, it's uploaded on my VN channel. I say that because, well, the Death Mark Let's Play on that channel is still ongoing. It's close to the end of that one. And then after that, Rune Factory, and it rinse and repeat, essentially. That's the upload schedule, so it's an upload every day with this added into the mix. And, yeah, back to the poll. I gave it an additional day because I was like, you know what, I mentioned it in part of my Rune Factory Oceans Let's Play that I uploaded. Was it? No, it wasn't yesterday, it was the day before. So I gave it an additional day after that. So I gave it till like around 9 PM UK time. Whatever time that would be, I forget. When I generally would upload, usually, that's the time I'd upload. So I was like, I'll wait till then, see if there's any more votes. And then, can't really close the poll because I don't know how YouTube works with that. The only option you got is make a comment on it, share it, like, dislike, or delete. You don't have the option to, oh yeah, poll ended. So I just made a post to say that it just was concluded. I'm not sure if anyone saw that or not. But the final results were Resident Evil Remake 2 did get a vote in the last day of the poll. Resident Evil Director's Cut, the original game, got 1 vote early on. This game got 2 votes early on. And Silent Hill Downpour got 1 vote a little later on into the poll. Darkwood didn't get any votes. So basically this one won because it has 2 votes while the only other ones that got a vote was just 1. And I am glad in a way because I'm not glad in that I had to pay like 30 odd quid for this game, but I'm glad that it didn't change after I'd spent 30 odd quid on this game. It's like, it's the 4th of October as I'm recording this, and I'll be uploading part of my Digimon World Next Door Let's Play, and I even mentioned in that video, I added in like some text, because as I was editing that video yesterday, the poll was still ongoing, and it was like, I've just bought this game last night, so, if it gets overtaken in the poll, I'm going to be mildly annoyed, because I'll be like, I have to spend money again? It's like, well, the other options on the list were a lot cheaper than this game. I was gonna get the deluxe version, but it's like $12.99 more than the basic version, which is outrageous. Damn crappy, game tactics and shit that they pull nowadays. It's like, oh no, everything costs more. Anyways, yeah. Kind of think of it, I haven't played a Project Zero game in years. The last one I played was the remake of Project Zero 2. I can't recall if any of these games really had an intro, that just plays on the menu. Let's see what we have in options. General settings, camera settings, display. Well, at least it isn't like White Day, I guess. I was just thinking maybe it's gonna like be right in your face with it. It's like, oh yeah, go to the store to buy the DLC. I wonder if this game has extra costumes that are actually in the game. I know the DLC, well, DLC being the deluxe version you can upgrade for the low price of $12.99. What you get is artwork from possibly old games, I'm not sure. You get soundtracks from old games. You get extra costumes that are basically reference to the old games, like the protagonists would dress like, past protagonists. And I think that might be about it, which is insane for such a price. I miss the days where, extra costumes were unlocked in-game rather than being DLC. And this game pretty much, had that back in the day. You'd unlock costumes while beating the game on different difficulties and stuff like that. It gives the game replayability. Anyways, I remember years ago, back when I was Let's Play The Sims 2, when I heard about this game when it was originally either released or was going to be released soon. I can't remember if what I heard was correct or not. But I remember complaining about it. It was like, oh man, they've ruined the protagonist of the first game somehow with this game. And I'm not sure if maybe it was just misinformation or if it's going to have some truth to it. Oh, wait, good. Let's just get on with it. Oh, I thought this was for some reason that I was like, oh yeah, is this a loading screen? It's like, no. Set the brightness so you can see the ghost face at the end of the arrow. Oh, I see it now. Kind of blends in. This is the kind of image where like someone be like, oh, look, this is a picture of a ghost to show you this. It's like, yeah, it does look like a face, but it's probably pareidolia. But in this case, it is supposed to be a face. They obviously want us to have it so it's dark, but not too dark. I don't want it to be too dark because, it makes it hard to see the video, especially when it's uploaded. Go with that, I guess. This game is a work of fiction. 90% of instructions people on our entirely coincidental. Also be advised that this game includes some graphic material. Surprised I got to read that in time. Lurking in the deep. Miu Hinasaki. Wait. Was Hinasaki Miku's name from the protagonist? Her last name? From the first game? I think it might be, so maybe there is some truth to this. I hope it isn't revealed to be what I fear it was. Because I remember hearing about that and I was like, God damn it, why'd you pull this shit? Yeah. It just boggles my mind, I feel like this series died after the third game. Because it kind of effectively did. The fourth game didn't even get released outside Japan, and years passed, they remade the second one. I got released outside Japan, I played it, I let's play it on the channel, but it didn't actually get an American release. And then after that, this game was made, and that's about it. It feels like a pattern I've noticed with the big horror games of yesteryear, Resident Evil, Silent Hill, and Project Zero. Hell, you could even throw a clock tower in there if you want to. In that, Well, no, you can't quite throw a clock tower in there. I was just thinking, first 3 games, successful and kind of seen as like, these are at their peak, and then the game after that changes everything. Gets a Resident Evil. Resident Evil 4 is well received and very influential game, but it also set it down the path to games that came after, where it became more action orientated and kind of lost the plot before Resident Evil 7 came around to be like, okay, let's actually focus on the actual horror bit again. Whereas Silent Hill just went, nope. I mean, I didn't mind Resident Evil 4. It was, I wouldn't say it was as great as the other ones, but it still had something to it, But after that, every other game was either mediocre or decent. Nothing that really is like amazing. And then you got Clock Tower, which can't really say the same thing for, because you got the first one on Super Nintendo, it was nice. One on PS1, despite the cheesiness of it, it was nice. Then they had Clock Tower 2 to struggle in, which has nothing to do with the previous games and was kind of shit. So, you know, now that series went to shit faster than any other ones. Anyway, let's get on. Spirited away in the vicinity of Mr. Hikami. People have been mysteriously disappearing without a trace. Now, where else disappeared without a trace? This series. It's just like, am I gonna get on with this game or am I just gonna bitch? But it's true though. I feel like the biggest mistake this series ever made was becoming Nintendo exclusive. That basically killed the series. First 3 games are solid. Then after that they went to, you know, Nintendo exclusive and didn't get released internationally. And the one game that the game after that got a release in UK and Europe, not America, so it limited its success and, you know, all that. And this game came out, and it didn't seem to make much of an impact. It doesn't help that it was originally on the... what's it called? The Wii U? That successor to the Wii, but didn't do quite as well. I mean, that's exactly why you make it exclusive to a console like that. It's not gonna sell, is it? So I guess maybe they're trying to, you know, now that they've released it on PS4 and stuff like that, maybe they're thinking of making another game sometime. I don't know. Be nice to see the series come back from the grave, but I'm not sure if they've up to the task of you know, the first 3 games. I don't think they can really top that. One such girl is Miu Hinasaki. She awakens to find herself in an old, half-flooding building. I should also note this is a blind Let's Play. I've never seen anyone play it. I've never played it myself. So I'm going in with the only information being that the protagonist of the first game might have had a backstory retconned of sorts that annoys me. And that the writers that worked on this game, I think, worked on the Dead or Alive games, which makes no sense to me whatsoever. It's like, shouldn't you, you know, have writers that are more used to this genre rather than the more fan-service kind of fighting game? It doesn't quite make sense to me at all. It kind of looks a bit like Miku. At least from, you know, in the darkness there. Or is it Miku? I don't think it is.
Where am I?
I have to get out of here, you know, shit. I didn't realize we were inspired by Resident Evil. It's like, yeah, I'm surrounded. Oh, there's a door. Do I do anything? Okay. Can I run? I don't have the camera obscura yet, leave me alone. Anyways, the reason I said that kind of like, are we taking it? What? Is that door not open? Oh wait. Is it pressing the wrong button? Yes, yes. It's locked anyway. One of them is being held shut by a powerful force. Anyways, the reason I just said it reminds me of Resident Evil bit is Get a few of their games, you know, they throw you right in the deep end. Zombies everywhere. Except it's ghosts. Yeah, the top she's wearing kinda remind me of Junk's armor a bit from Tekken 2. Find a way out of here. I mean, you could definitely tell that it's the, you know, Dead or Alive kind of team bitch, you know? It's already got that kind of like, oh, a wet see-through shirt. I've never actually played. Well, I have, but I haven't at the same time played the Dead or Alive game. I remember playing a demo version on PS3 where it just had 2 characters, and then I was like, alright. And that was that. That's my entire experience with that. Looks like there's a cave all on the other side of this. I can see some stone statues out in the darkness. It must be underground. Now, how do I get out of here? Why is this tutorial thing still around? There's a light at the end of the corridor. Maybe there's a way out that way. I will slowly approach you. Oh, yeah, we're definitely seeing more fancy stuff here. They're chasing after me. I have to get out. They're like the nurses in Silent Hill, but ghosts. Okay, now we know how to run. Wait. Whoa. Yeah, I know. L2 to... Wait, what? L2 to run and L2 to do that. Kind of a bit odd. It's the dark water. Is that hair? Who are you people? This feels awkward to control a bit with the rock. We gonna get a moment to breathe here yet, or what? I guess we kinda are. Yeah, despite the fact that, you know, this game definitely seems to lean more on the fan service side. But it's not like it was never a thing ever in the series, but it's definitely very excessive so far, to an extent. I don't remember any ghosts having, you know, in-your-face kind of cleavage. I just remember there being some really odd costumes. So what is it, water that's also hair? I guess so. I guess because your dark hair doesn't quite have the same use. Miu Hinasaki has disappeared. No one could hear her cries for help as she was sealed into a shrine on top of the mountain. That mountain is where the events of this story take place. We follow the fates of 3 people: Yuri, Ren, and Miu. It is a terrifying tale of the supernatural. With boobs. Project Zero, Maiden of Black Water. Lurking in the deep. A sea of hair does sound pretty... doesn't it? First drop of Vanishing Trace, Yuri Kozuka. Shadow reading. Among the residents of the villages at the foot of Mount Hikami, a certain unique ability has been passed through the ages. This ability, known as shadow reading, enables the user to view the shadow or trace of someone lost in its visible circumstances. This is not unlike the psychometry practice elsewhere. Yuri Kozuka accompanies Hisoka Kurosawa, a woman who possesses the shadow reading ability, to an abandoned inn on Mount Hikami. Kurosawa, any relation to the antagonist of the second game? I think had the last... Was it Sai Kurosawa? Sei Kurosawa? Sei? Because I say Sai, but it would be Sai because it was like S-A-E. Now that I kind of, a little familiar with the Japanese language because I've learned a bit of it, it'd be like Sa-e? Sai? Sai would be, S-A-I. I don't know, maybe I'm just overthinking it. Since Yuri could in time become talented at shadow reading, Hisoka takes her along on an assignment. Are these characters going to be at all interesting, or are they going to be... I don't know.
I thought that I'd be scared of death. But I can't even cry.
Why are you standing on a cliff edge?
I am alone. In the end, I am alone.
Oh, that's why you're standing on a cliff edge.
I will end it all. Alone.
Yuri?
Huh?
Why you wearing a different outfit now?
What we're looking for should be in here. This is an excellent chance for you to take the lead. Here, take this.
Ah.
This is a camera obscura. It will let you see the unseen, including the clues that will help you find what we're here for. This is your opportunity, your first case. I'm sure you'll do well.
Ooh.
Let's start with a little practice.
Okay.
It works exactly like a normal camera. Give it a try. Just hold up the camera.
Do I have to take a picture, or am I just kind of looking around? Wait, what? We can do horizontal and vertical shots, or perhaps even, diagonal shots. Boom, 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 boom. That would be nauseating. Oh my god, are you serious? I was able to kind of move it with the analog stick, but now I can't. Oh my god. Oh, this probably makes sense, actually.
The camera obscura photographs the netherworld, a whole other world separate from our own.
I mean, you can't take the Wii U out.
That world that we see through the lens is not unlike the afterlife.
Motion
Make sure not to draw
controls.
too much interest from the things you see.
What am I doing?
If you aren't careful, you might be drawn into the netherworld yourself.
Second. Oh, okay. Picture your boobs, okay. Use first. Got a crotch shot. Anything else? Oh, use that one to hold your capture area. Yeah, I've already done that. Gotta wait a little while. Locked on any target square. Yeah, lock on. It doesn't stay there though, does it?
Things around here seem to have changed. It wasn't exactly bustling, but it never used to be like this.
I find this strange.
The mountain used to be revered as sacred ground, and it became a tourist destination. Now it's known as a place to commit suicide.
Uh-huh.
Apparently, only those kind of people head to the mountain these days.
Okay, I have noticed here you can use the analog stick to move around here. So it's not exclusively motion controls, it's just you've got the option. That's good. What I find strange so far is that we're just handed the camera obscura like, yeah, this is just a thing we do, you know? Got, you know, this lagging about. I mean, I remember, you know, it has been years, but wasn't the camera obscura kind of a big deal? I mean, you find it in all three games, but, you know, it had the backstory with the folklorist who, you know, either created it or something, I don't know. But eventually, I think he might have got spirited away as well. But then it's like, you know what, just take some practice shots. You're going to become some kind of paranormal expert. Kind of a bit odd.
Take this.
First bottom photograph. I mean, so we just... I mean, maybe the fourth game that didn't get released out of Japan, maybe that was more in that. It's like, oh yeah, there are more than one camera obscura. Well, maybe there is. I mean, how did it pop up in the other games? It's like, it popped up in the first game, it's like, okay, makes sense. Popped in the second game, okay. Third game, it's like, why? Now, on top of that, it really is like, you know, this series feels like it could compare well with Silent Hill, in that it had a successful series early on, and then fell off a cliff. This one more so than Silent Hill. I mean, on the plus side, it didn't suffer the same fate as Silent Hill in that Silent Hill, you know, instead of just basically dying, they had more games that were just not all that great. I like Shattered Memories, but I found Homecoming was fairly mediocre, and I haven't played Downpour, which was one of the options to Let's Play, but didn't get more than 1 vote, so yeah. But I've heard that it's not such a great game either. What other games is there? There's Origins as well, which sounds like it's at best decent. Silent Hill 4, I like to play that. Was it last year? I think it was. It was either last year or the year before. Pretty sure it was last year. That was decent, but you know, the second half was kind of tedious, and you know, characters felt underdeveloped. But you know, it was decent. But anyways, back to the topic of the series, you know. Silent Hill 1, you know, stands on its own. Silent Hill 2 stands on its own. Silent Hill 3, sequel to the first game, and it ties up things, you know. This series, Project Zero 1 stands on its own, Project Zero 2 stands on its own. Project Zero 3 takes both previous games, adds on an additional character, and has the, you know, stories for that progress. And then it kind of like, you know, tightly is wrapped up, perfect kind of ending, you know? The good ending, anyway. If it's one of the bad endings, then it doesn't quite feel as, you know, conclusive. It's like, okay, all the stories wrapped up there. And then they made a fourth game, which I assume had nothing to do with those characters, because, I mean, where do you go from there? And I think it might have flopped. I mean, outside of it not being released outside Japan, it probably didn't do all that well. I heard that it wasn't so great to play a game. It was a bit buggy, I don't know. Which would make sense. I think it was released possibly on the Wii, because that was when they went Nintendo exclusive, which is really bizarre choice. I don't know how that happens. And maybe it was a company merger as well, because wasn't Tecmo when they made the first 3 games? They weren't Tecmo Koei at that point? I don't know, I can't remember.
It's a token. It will help lead you to what we're looking for. Now don't panic, but be sure to stay on your guard. Go on and head inside.
How about no? What is this for a map? It's like I've torn off a little piece of paper. We're standing on it. Did I get it? What? And also press L1 and square to open snap mode. I'm pressing them. Nothing's happening. L1 plus square. Wait, does the timing have to be 100% perfect? Get off my screen! Oh, you just have to press X. Interest moments and areas. Snap mode can't be used here. Well, thanks for telling me that I can do that, but not right now. Where am I going? I assume I'm probably supposed to go in there. But I don't want to go in there. It's probably spooky in there. Okay, we are forming a map of sorts. Screw guys, I'm going here.
Come on, this way.
You got your fast.
Don't worry. I'm right here with you.
Can I not move the torch?
Come on, let's do this before it gets dark.
I want to flash the bloody torch right in your face. Oh god, this feels awkward. Click and roll. Okay.
Don't worry. I'm right here with you. Okay. Come on, let's do this.
Trying to see what does what here. Yeah.
Start.
Wait, what did I say? I thought it said a vanishing tree, a vanishing trace. Yes, that's the name of the chapter. Now, if they make a new game in this series, they've definitely, you know, gotta think outside of the Nintendo box here. Although now that they've moved on to the Switch, wouldn't have to have quite the motion control kind of awkwardness of the controls, although they probably would be.
Don't worry, I'm right here with you.
Yes.
This is a post-mortem photograph. It's not just a normal photograph. It was taken to mourn the dead. It's why Ren sent us here.
Yeah,
But
names.
It seems that this photo came from somewhere around here, and he wants us to see whether we can find any more.
Yeah, I was just saying. Names kind of get mixed up. It's like Ren? Who? They just think Ray from the third game. Wonder if there's gonna be much reference to the other games outside of potentially the Miku was referenced the first game. Big piece of wood has been nailed to the window. Maybe they're here to protect against landslides. I want to have a good old look around this. This does feel weird to control. I can't remember the first 3 games because it's been years since I played them. But I don't remember them being quite as clunky to control. And speaking of which, yeah, Dreadout is kind of seen as a sort of spiritual success to this series because it definitely takes quite a bit of influence from it. But I played the original Dreadouts and I just couldn't get used to the controls. Even when I tried using the controller, I just couldn't get used to it. I think at least the original Dreadout, I haven't played the sequel. I think what it gets wrong in its inspiration from this game, I mean, it doesn't have to follow it exactly, but you know, in Project Zero, Fail Frame, the balance for the difficulty of the ghost, you know, you gotta have the ghost move at a certain pace. First game, they moved at their fastest. After that, they kind of slowed them down. I felt in Dreadout everything moves too fast. I've noticed when I see people play PC horror games that everything moves fast and chaotic, and I just can't keep up with that. I like it at a kind of pace like the original games, where the ghosts felt balanced. Whereas when I was playing Dreadout, I couldn't get past that scissor boss because it just moves so fast and it's just really hard to get through. Whereas except for the first game, I never really felt like any of the ghosts were too fast. They're kind of reasonably paced. Like some of them are really slow, and some of them are pretty fast. I mean, think of Hikami from the second game. Not exactly the fastest ghost, but he was a big ass ghost, and if he got you, you were basically dead. So it added, you know, a threat to it, but it didn't make it so that it's like frustrating to get through because you keep dying because of how fast he is or anything. So he was scrap wood at the end of the hallway. The worker must have washed it all down. There's a key in the wall. That's a hole in the wall, I mean. I can see the next room over. It looks to be just as flooded. So can't get through that way then. So we're just gonna ignore that? Any ghosties? It feels the character models are also quite different as well. Well, not just the models, because, well, you know, we're further in generation-wise than the first 3 games at this point, obviously. But they look more like supermodels, while the you know, original characters I mean, they didn't necessarily look like models, I guess. What's this? Big hole in the wall leading to the palms. The light from the sunset reflecting off the water, illuminating the room of the eerie light. But anyways, as I say, it's like, look at them, they look like, I mean, she keeps turning away, he's like, no, don't look at my supermodel face. But even you have a model look to you. He's like, yes, I, in my spare time, do fashion work. But it's the protagonist of the, other games, the first three. I mean, Rey looks like she could have probably been some kind of model if she has that kind of looks. Not really, like, full on looks like, yeah, they work in modeling. So they just have this look to them. It's like, no, don't look at my face. Speaking of which, I think in the deluxe version that has the extra costumes, I think it was this character that had the Rey costume, the protagonist of the third game. I'm not sure. I recognized it from the hair, though.
Yuri, wait. I can sense something.
Hold on to find a trail.
It's called a trace. A shadow of the past. The token is showing you the way.
Did you know that's the name
These
of...
traces can lead you to the right path.
You done?
Let's follow that shadow.
You done? Are we done here? Can I ramble a little bit here? That's the name of a story that's... I can't even say on and off rights because I haven't added anything to it in years. But I've, wrote a story called Shadows of the Past. But I'd say my main reason I haven't added anything to it in years is because the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I've kind of made it a bit, all over the place plot-wise. And I'm not particularly fond of the big plot twists that I have for the ends, because it feels a bit, Can't run while in trace mode. Hold it. Something over here. Oh my god, it really is. I remember the remake of the second game and it had this very distinct thing where you gotta hold down a button. It's like, should I pick it up? No. It's a shame you can't release and then keep hold. No, it just goes back to default to do that. Where's the fun in that? Hikami's downfall. An old dusty book has been left in the hallway. Maybe someone dropped it. Hikami has long been considered holy ground. For centuries, people have been drawn to the many sacred shrines and places of worship, as well as the natural features such as the Twilight's Peak and the Pool of Purification, which have themselves been treated with great reverence. The mountain was also popular with tourists and mountain climbers for the beauty of its abundance. Clear waters and ancient, mysterious forests. Worshippers and hikers alike used to find rest at Ichiro Manor, a hot spring resort near the foot of the mountain. Now the inn lies desolate, devoid of visitors. The mountain never recovered from a devastating landslide it suffered many years ago. The shrine road to the summit was cut off and the flow of the water throughout the mountain was altered, forever changing the landscape. The roads that were under construction had to be abandoned, and Ichiro Manor was buried under a slew of rock, resulting in numerous fatalities. Among those lost were the family of Ichiro Manor's proprietor, effectively putting an end to the business. Mount Hikami's days as a tourist destination were no more. Instead, the mountain gained notoriety as a suicide spot. Perhaps because it was traditionally a destination to which to die and adventure, the mountain is now Now a place for those wishing to end their own lives. By extension, it has also become a place for thrill seekers interested in the occult. Wasn't it that one suicide forest in Japan that's kind of at the foot of Mount Fuji? It's kind of taking a bit of influence from that. You know, dark forests by a mountain, you know? Pretty grim. Was that a shadow of the past? It's weird because, like I said, I wrote a story that's the working title for it is Shadows of the Past. Tutorial Echoes of the Past. Shadows of the past, not echoes. In places where the traces of the past are very strong, you may be able to view echoes of the past. Photographing them will earn you. Oh god, I forgot about that being a thing. Photographing them will earn you photo points, which can be used to upgrade cameras. Damn it, I forgot there was a thing. I mean, that has been a thing throughout the whole series, I think. You know, you just get these random, non-hostile ghost encounters where you photograph them, you get points, and it adds to a collection. There's probably a trophy for this, I'd imagine. What's this? Kind of weird. Sometimes it's X, but to open things it's circle. Why do it that way? It's kind of awkward. There's no trace. Gets back up there. I'll look around. Spooky doll. Like, yeah, I get it, man. I'm just having a look around. Not that there seems to be anything in here. What a pointless room. I'm surprised it didn't zoom even further in on her ass, considering the fancy look of some of the
Maybe
games
it's
so
in
far.
this room.
Could it be in this room? Well, we'll have to find out in the next part. Actually, what are the other options here? Oh, you can actually turn off the motion controls. Okay, you do have the option. I'm not gonna change anything right now, though. Just having a look-see. So, no option to switch voice acting then. Of course it would do that. No. Just like, let's open up a browser for the manual, instead of having the manual be in the game itself. What happened to, you know... Well, games didn't really have manuals inside the game itself, you know, it'd be like, you own the game, you got a manual with the game, you read the manual, but this game doesn't have a physical release, and even if it did, it might not have even had the manual to begin with. Because they don't really do that quite as much these days. Anyways, that'll do for our first part here. We're 22 minutes and 2 seconds into the gameplay itself, but we're 49 minutes into the first part. So, see you next time, viewers. See you next time.